From Careco TV, one of the longest running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventures. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. This is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week on Americana Outdoors, we're welcoming professional bass angler Fred Roumbanis to camp, where he'll be talking all things Garmin, both on the water and out in the field. To Fred, Garmin is more than just a partnership. Using their products is a way of life, so it's only fitting that as he ventures more out into the world of hunting, he'll have the Garmin Xero bow sight on his bow. First things first, as this will be Fred's debut using the Garmin Xero, Michael helps him get sighted in at camp before hitting the field.
We'll pretty much call that good on 20.
I said we got it. Yeah, I think 20 we're pretty dialed. I mean, to get them grouped like that, I can't complain.
So just get it lined up.
Get it in the circle and then let go of it?
Let go of it. Dead.
Yeah! Wow, that is so cool. I mean, that makes, you know, I consider myself a novice bow hunter. I'm a bass fisherman, professional, but when it comes to hunting with a bow, this just made life so much easier. Rangefinder.
Pretty sweet, sir.
Yeah, and red dot all in one. That's cool. Instead of trying to guesstimate with the pins, oh, this might be a 25-yard shot, you know, you get the rangefinder out, you go back and forth, animals run away. This is gonna really speed up the process and make a more accurate shot, and hopefully we'll get something with it this week. I'm excited.
It looks like Fred's ready to put the Garmin Xero bow sight to the test.
So we get out early in the morning, it's dark, and there is a critter in front of us, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy smokes, that's a porcupine. I have never seen a live porcupine in my life. And man, they walk goofy. I mean, he's just waddling over and he goes into a fence and it's almost like he got stuck and I wanted to push him through, but I know better than touch that thing. You got it, buddy. How cool is that? And then we're walking to the first blind and we look over and Kevin points out a red stag.
You're seeing all kinds of stuff on the way out of the stand.
We're starting a nature hike today. This is so cool. Okay, so there's two animals I've never seen before in real life. A red stag and a porcupine. We already made it to the stand. This is gonna be a fun day.
Not long after Fred made the climb up into the famous killing tree, he was treated to even more wildlife sightings when bucks started flooding in from all directions.
So not only were there bucks on both sides, I see this white deer coming in and I go, is that an albino? Well, it was a fallow. And I've never seen a fallow. So now we're at 3 animals and it isn't even 20 minutes into the first day of an entire week of hunting. You know, to take in these experiences and see wildlife firsthand like this, it's why I love the outdoors. And then to be representing Garmin and to have an opportunity to use the Xero sight and to see it work in action, it's phenomenal.
Well, he may have ended up busted on his first outing, but what an incredible way to start the day with a porcupine, a red stag, a fallow, and bunches of bucks. What's next?
So now we're in a really cool pop-up tent. It's nested back into the brush, and within minutes, again, a herd of axes come in, does come in, and there were a ton of eyes on us.
As if this day couldn't get any more lively, Fred spots yet another animal he's never seen in person, a free-range Sika.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It wasn't for the lack of seeing animals. There was too many. There were too many. And every time I drew back, with that many eyeballs on you, one of them flinches, they all flinch. Yeah, that's hunting. That was fun. I like the fact that we saw those axes coming over there. And we had a Sika come in. I mean, that's another animal I've never seen before. So it's just fun to watch all these animals.
Day one of hunting here in Texas hasn't filled the freezer yet, but there's plenty of time left for Fred's visit. Stay tuned.
Trade hours for seconds.
There's no feeling like it. When you've prepped the gear, done the research, found the spot, nailed the presentation, and now there's only one thing left to do. Keep fishing. So gear up with all the best fishing gear. Only at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Shop in store or online.
Sometimes the world can seem a cold place, so we gotta bring the warmth to it. Sometimes the world can seem a dark place, so we gotta become the light in it. Sometimes the world can seem a broken place, so we gotta strive to fix it. We prepare for the worst, but we must always, always expect the best.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. It's been another 2 days worth of hunting since Fred's first outing with the Garmin Xero bow sight. Although he's seen a lot of animals, covered a lot of ground, and sat in a bunch of different hunting locations from tree stands to pop-up blinds to tripods and box blinds, well, that one special deer still hasn't made an appearance. Let's take a break from the field and catch up with Fred on the water at Amistad Reservoir. If you're ever on Fred's bass boat, you'll quickly see how decked out it is with all things Garmin, from his trolling motor to his Garmin mapping units. And today, he's showing us how he relies on Garmin electronics while he's fishing, specifically Garmin Livescope, for finding and catching fish faster and easier than ever before.
You know, I was pretty fortunate to get on the Garmin Livescope bandwagon real early when it first came out. And it was almost one of those things I didn't want the rest of the world to know, because it gave me a serious competitive advantage. Now, of course, you know, guys have caught on and there's a lot of people running it. If you haven't run it, it's well worth the investment. It's gonna help you catch a lot more fish. And in the sport of fishing, you've got to have that edge to be successful. Okay, hey look, I actually am sitting on top of some fish right here. I just dropped my drop shot going down. You can see that fish right there is looking at it. You can see how they kind of chased it. Whatever they are, they were interested in it, you know? They're interested in the falling of whatever it was, but okay, look. Oh, that one chased it. All right, now we've seen the behavior of these fish, I'm gonna change up and try something that might actually catch them. So I'm gonna grab a bait, in my mind, that those fish will be able to react to. Blade bait. I have no idea what's going on down there except for what Livescope has shared with me. So we're gonna try that, and then we might even try, secondly, an ice jig. Those two baits, by the way those fish were vertical going up and down on my drop shot, but weren't really hitting it, makes me believe they're probably not largemouth bass. They're probably striped bass. Something, I'm not even sure if they live here, but by the way they were chasing the weight, but not really eating the bait, something like that might get them to attack it. So I'm gonna try to drop down on these fish. Oh, they're right on top of one right now. I got one. That was pure Livescope right there, guys. You know, looking at the attitude of the fish, I really have no idea what lives down here, but by the attitude of the fish on my drop shot, my first thought was these aren't largemouth, these are striped bass. When could you look at your sonar and call your shot like that? How cool was that? You know, we saw on Livescope, we saw the fish go down on the drop shot, but they were looking more at the weight than the worm. Their attitude told me, hey, these aren't largemouth bass, these are something else. And so I reached in my tackle box, cut off the swim bait on another rod, tied on this blade bait, immediately dropped down. And what I thought they were was exactly what they were, striped bass. And we figured out a pattern, we figured out how to catch those fish pretty quickly, all because of the technology of Garmin. That right there is why I use Garmin, both hunting and fishing. You know, to make a trip that we knew we were gonna come out here and do some filming and educate you on Garmin, but to catch fish in a short amount of time is exactly why I use Garmin. And we're gonna get back out and do a little hunting this afternoon and hopefully use the Xero sight on my bow and get a nice buck. So again, Garmin is more than Garmin in electronics, it's a lifestyle.
When we come back, Fred finally fixes his eyes on a good-looking buck.
Inside every Yamaha lives the heart and soul of a competitor. The DNA of a champion. When you ride with us, it revs your heart and becomes a part of you too.
You have a full-time job and you want to be a full-time angler. Don't waste time scouting. You want to catch fish. That's where Garmin comes in. Our mapping with Navionics data lets you see more detail than the fish do. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, and our industry-leading live sonar is so crisp and clear you'll think you jumped in. You're welcome. Now, if only we had a powerful, efficient, whisper-quiet trolling motor. Actually, we do. It's called Force. We knew you'd like that. Less time finding, more time catching fish. Only with Garmin.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. After returning to camp from a fun morning of fishing, Wade informed Fred that he's been spotting a good buck near a box blind. Feeling eager to get back out to the field, Fred and Kevin hit the road with their sights set on tracking down this deer.
All right, here we are. There's some big bucks on camera here. So we've had to wait all week to hit this spot because the first time we've had the south wind, the prevailing wind here in Texas, we've been kind of facing north winds all week, and it changes things up, just like bass fishing, you know. The wind dictates where to go, and in this situation, I think we're making the right call. We get out there, we get set up, and like clockwork, again, when Wade says something, it happens. These deer come out, and I see some antlers way in the past kind of hopping along, and I go, hey, there's a good buck back there. And then these does come in. Now what's weird is it almost seemed like every time a deer came in, they kind of freaked out a little bit and took off, and it was almost like they were winding us. Now granted, we were upwind of where, you know, where the action was, but there's still, something was going on there. I'm thinking, man, I'm wearing my fishing hat, probably got striped bass scent on me a little bit, you know, it's my, I'm like, I smell, they're smelling me, you know, that's all I keep thinking. And then they started getting more comfortable, and they started coming in, and just, if you give them time, they're focused on what they're doing. And we just stayed there quiet, and sure enough, Ghost comes into the scene. It's got these antlers that literally cross over right at the tips. I mean, it's a massive deer. It dwarfed everything we saw all week. my heart starts racing. I mean, you know, that adrenaline's going. You're just like, oh. And it's kind of facing us for a long time, but it's not turning broadside. And I'm thinking, gosh, how much longer is this deer gonna possibly be here before it takes off? And then it turns broadside on me.
Perfect. Looked like a good hit.
Yeah, right there. That's zero sight. Green circle. Right down. Locked it in. She took that step forward. Dude. We worked so hard this week.
What do you think?
That's my biggest buck. That's my biggest buck. I trusted fishing. I trusted hunting. Garmin. Oh man. Dude.
It looked like a good hit.
It looked like perfect. I mean, from my point of view, it looked right where I aimed. It hit. I mean, I think we just got a big, big buck. Oh my goodness.
While hanging back in the blind to give this deer his due time, Kevin and Fred decide to watch the shot back on the camera. And Fred's heart sinks when he sees his mind has just played a mean trick on him.
I shot exactly where I wanted to shoot on the deer. But in my mind, that leg went forward. And the first thing I noticed, the leg wasn't forward. It was actually back a little bit. I don't know how my mind played that trick on me, but it did. And we grabbed Wade, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna look for the blood.
With Wade by his side, Fred began the grueling task of searching for any small traces of a blood trail to locate this deer. They searched and searched from sunset until night had fallen, when they finally spotted 2 fresh puddles of blood in the grass.
He stopped right here. He stood here for a second. So he's not running to die.
Down both sides.
Yeah, but he stopped right here for a while.
Is that a good sign?
No. Fred, I think we need to go back. I mean, he's not bleeding enough to, he's not looking for a place to die yet. So if we keep pushing, there's a chance that we push him.
Yeah.
So my advice is, I mean, it's the hardest thing to do, but we just let him do what he's gonna do tonight. Because this isn't enough.
Okay.
We've done everything right so far. Gave him an hour and a half. He stood back there for a while, so let's mark this, hang your hat or Dobbin's hat or something.
Yeah.
When we come back, Wade has some resourceful tricks up his sleeve to do whatever it takes to find Fred's biggest buck yet.
To me, the Performance Center by Smith & Wesson means taking the best and making it better. Regardless if I'm passing on the traditions of hunting or teaching someone new about the outdoors, I know that using a Performance Center handgun will be something they will remember for the rest of their lives. Every model comes with an awesome trigger. They're reliable in all the conditions, as well as offering a variety of sight and scope mounting capabilities. The Performance Center by Smith & Wesson. Performance when it matters most.
Want to know why the top shooting pros choose High-Vis? High-Vis has an enormous lineup of sights for every shooting platform possible that are clean looking and easy to mount. Improve your shooting with faster target acquisition and eliminate cross-eyed dominance. High-Vis sights are the brightest out there, helping you find your target with ease, no matter the shooting conditions. Choose the best. Choose High-Vis and see what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin.
We get up in the morning, and Wade goes, hey, you know, I kind of looked around. We got some opportunities of maybe getting a dog. What do you think about a dog? I'm like, well, yeah, that sounds cool. I've never seen a dog in action. I've heard about it, you know, the one that can track the blood, and hey, we'll find this deer quickly.
With 4 furry paws and a wet nose leading the charge, Fred and the team hastily follow the tracking dog as he leads them through the thick brush to find Fred's buck.
Yeah, there's the last blood right there, see it? Get my hat back. That's the last blood we found right there. The dog runs around and it's tracking the blood, and it finds it and it runs up, and it took us to the last spot of blood that we could possibly find, and then kind of lost it. And I said, well, you know, this dog's young, maybe we'll go back and get our beagle. And I'm like, okay, you know, sweet. Let's I mean, I thought it did a pretty good job. They come back with the beagle, and it gets on that blood trail and does the same thing, gets excited, and it gets to the last drop of blood, and it's fatigued, it's tired, I mean, you know, it's starting to get hot now, and this isn't gonna happen right now. So, I mean, the one thing about me personally is I may not be the best fisherman in the world, I may not be the best hunter in the world, but the one thing I can tell you is I don't quit. I don't quit for nothing. And there was another opportunity with another dog, and I'm like, let's do it. Let's hire another dog. You know, every dog's got their strengths, you know. Let's see how this other dog handles the situation.
After coming so close to finding Ghost with the first 2 dogs and coming up short, Fred is hoping this next dog will make the old adage of 3's a charm ring true. She guides them deep into the woods, and they anxiously follow her all the way up a new path to a creek crossing.
We're following the dogs and went across this creek, and I'm gonna have to jump across. I think it's our only bet, so wish me luck on this. No problem.
As the trail diminishes yet again and the hopes of finding the Ghost fade with the setting sun, it begs the question, where did this deer go?
I'm really kind of lost for words right now because I felt like it was a clean shot. You know, the Xero, it shot exactly where I wanted to. However, my mind played a trick on me. It made me feel like that leg was forward, it was back, but it's still in an area where that deer should be down. We pretty much went sundown last night looking for it and beyond, and sun up to sundown today. And, you know, 3 dogs, I don't really know what else I could say. I mean, I've done everything I possibly can do. I'm not quitting. And that's one thing I can tell you right now. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna get me a big deer pretty soon. It was just a great experience this week. Got to use the Xero firsthand. And I can tell you guys that is absolutely an amazing piece of electronics that I think all bow hunters should have. Everything that I love to do seems to have Garmin fit right in, and it's helped me enjoy my outdoors so much more.
Fred, you showed us what it means to be a dedicated outdoorsman and pulled out all the stops to find this deer. Unfortunately, as we've seen in the past, sometimes in hunting we can do everything right, use all the best equipment, and still, there's nothing that can tell us where the deer went. Is it still alive? Did coyotes get him? Or did we just not find where he died despite all these efforts? Well, thanks for hanging out with us and taking us on such a thrilling adventure. And we can't wait to have you back in camp again. Hey, thank you for watching, and join us next week on a new episode of Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production. This episode was made possible by these partners.
COVID-19 vaccine trial volunteer in the U.S.
Introducing the EXUDE line of long-distance illuminators, built to outperform typical illuminators with our multi-lens focus adjustable technology. Project a perfectly sharp column of light visible at great distances, gaining a higher level of illumination precision. EXUDE technology uses pure white natural light, preventing animals from flaring when spotted. Perfect for predator hunting. We offer 3 different EXUDE models, the OD25, the OD40, and the OD50. Illuminate the night like never before with the EXUDE light.
Attract that buck and keep him there. Deploy Record Racks deer blocks featuring their exclusive berry recipe for ultimate attraction and consumption. The smell draws them in, but the taste keeps them coming back for more. Learn more at recordrack.com.
The fastest, most comfortable compact crossbows ever. 26.5 inches long, 440 feet per second. The Havoc RS440 and Havoc RS440 from 10 Point. Defining crossbow precision for over 25 years.
Meet Spintech's sturdiest stand and fill feeder, built on skids to allow for easy transportation. This feeder is perfect for the hunter looking for a convenient stand and fill feeder that has a welded cage system to protect it from hogs, cattle, and other animals. It's also equipped with Spintech's patented spinner unit that locks and seals in corn. Stand and fill up to 700 pounds of corn with ease. Learn more at spintechspreaders.com.
Introducing the Hawk series of box blinds, the ultimate box blinds for serious hunters. Insulated steel panels provide unmatched thermal, scent, and noise control. One-hand operable silent windows are designed for archers as well as gun hunters, while a roto-molded roof and window frames keep rain and snow out of the blind. Hawk blinds have the features serious hunters demand and are backed by a limited lifetime warranty, so your investment will last in the field for years to come. All new box blinds by Hawk.